Hey there guys, this is Carto1989 and with me I have FTA
Hello, everybody.
and Mykonos fan.
Hey, you got my name right. Everyone says my Konos fan.
Alright.
It's Die Brony fan. Fucking people listen.
Oh. Ooh,
Yes,
this-
I love this game. We're here to play, show off Skies of Arcadia, what pretty much my favourite JRPG of all time.
this is a weird looking Sonic game, Cardo. What are you pulling here?
Well, considering the main character is voiced by Sonic, it does make sense.
Oh.
I'm gonna say right off the bat, I have not played this game. I know nothing about it. I am just here to make dick jokes, so I'm gonna let Kato and Mykonos fan do most of the talking here. It's Misty, hooray!
No, that sticks.
Oh my god, it is Styx.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
No.
Please tell me that character is voiced by Nicky Futterman.
You know what?
I-
Yeah, sure.
Let's go with
I
it.
think.
Now, Styx has come up with more conspiracy theories, so...
So this was a Dreamcast game, correct?
Yes. I think it was released quite late in the Dreamcast life.
I want to say 2000.
Yeah, it was kind of in between Shenmue 1 and 2, really.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah,
kind of in the middle.
October 5th.
Yeah. And it became a bit of a cult classic, but it became also quite hard to find. I did have a copy, lent it to a friend, he moved away and took it with him.
Oh.
Bastard.
That bastard.
Yeah. So,
Those people.
then thankfully, Sega, doing something nice for a change, actually re-released the game on the GameCube. And that's what we're looking at here.
Okay, but you said this is just the Dreamcast. Basically everything that was in the Dreamcast demo. So this is not the entire game we're looking at.
Yeah, because back in the day, when magazines actually came with demo discs, this was what was included with one of them. It was front and centered. They were really trying to promote it, and at the time, I wasn't really into JRPGs. In all honesty, most of the things I heard of was like with Final Fantasy, and in all honesty, I thought Final Fantasy looked like shit. So I
So. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I-
after you.
Yes, I just tried it out and somehow instantly fell in love with it. I was like, I've got to continue this. But what kept surprising me was just how long this demo actually was. Is just
Yeah,
when
because. Oh, sorry, after you.
it's just like just when I think it was getting to the point where most demos would end, it just kept going and going and going. I was like, Jesus Christ, how long is this?
Yeah, because I think you said that there's roughly 90 minutes in the demo, and I remember back in the PlayStation 1 game, one of the most loved demos was Capcom gave you 5 minutes of Resident Evil 2, and you could see how far you could get.
Yeah.
5 minutes in Resident Evil 2. But yeah, so like for like a 90 minute, that's pretty beefy for a demo.
Yeah.
No,
It actually.
Again, for the third time
No,
in a row, I
it's-
apologize, my friend. After you.
I was just saying, in this entire demo covers the first 2 dungeons, and a lot of little bits of free roaming in between. So
Look at
it's-
that pretty boy.
So 2 dungeons. How much then of the overall game would you say this is?
Barely even a tenth.
Okay. So this is equivalent to just watching the opening cutscene in Big Story in SA1.
I suppose so.
Okay, so I have a question, Kato. So you made several references to this being a JRPG, which I'm gonna, in my primitive brain, just imagine that this means Japanese RPG.
Yeah.
Yep.
So aside from being made in Japan, what's the big difference? Because I myself am not really an RPG player. I don't really have the time or patience to sit through an RPG. What's the big difference then between a JRPG and just a RPG?
Well, it's mainly just between Japanese styles and Western styles. Western styles seem a bit more focused on really the player creating their own story. there's no real overarching plot, and it kind of becomes less about the combat and all that stuff, and more about just doing whatever you want.
Like a Fallout
So
or an
what's-
Oblivion.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's really the best way to describe it. It's like, even in some ways, Minecraft is a Western RPG.
Now with Mario.
Yeah.
That suit of armor looks incredibly useless for looking down at a computer,
I'm-
considering it
I'm-
sticks out a foot in front of his head.
In all honesty, the first time I played this game, I honestly thought they were wearing toilets on their heads.
So again, I know nothing about this game aside from it is like a lot of Sega franchises. It's an incredible cult classic. What is the general story of this franchise? Is it just like space, like flying pirates? Because that's what it looks like, a bunch of pirates flying in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just basically pirates being pirates.
I've only played maybe... I think I got about 6 or 7 hours into this game before I lost my disc 1, which I can't seem to find anywhere. But I think the main reason people love it is just because it's fun, it's colorful. A lot of RPGs at this time from Japan were getting really serious, like, Final Fantasy 7 or 8, and this one's pretty much just like, hey, here's some pirates, go have fun.
It's
That really seems to be the gist of it.
Yeah, it's very basic, and that's why I kind of feel like it's a great JRPG to get into the genre with, because it doesn't hold your hand; it just throws you in, as we're about to see.
Yeah, you don't even get a combat tutorial. It's just like, here you go, have fun.
Yeah, it's the most.
You know, it's a minor thing, but like, and I know this is it's a Dreamcast game, but the animation, like, they look like more primitive than SA1
Yeah,
because
You
they
don't
always
see that here.
barely move.
So Skies of
I-
Arcadia, very generous. It starts you off with max stats, so you never have to...
yes, this is my cheating mode. Because I don't really have that much free time, I wanted to try and get through this as quickly as I could. So,
I salute you, Kato. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
so unfortunately, this was kind of at a time when JRPGs were still using random encounters, which is a very annoying trait nowadays.
Yep.
So, using my action replay, I turned them off. So there are no random encounters, but because of that, it means that I don't get many opportunities to level up my characters. So I had to add a few other cheats to try and balance that as best I could.
So by balance, you thought max everything the fuck out.
Max everything apart from strength. So
That's something we could bring up real quick, though, because this is the GameCube version. I think the only real differences was the GameCube version lowered encounter rates, right? Because they are crazy in the Dreamcast version.
yeah, in the Dreamcast version, you could literally just take one step and then you hit another random battle.
Yeah, that is very
So
true.
it's like being in Mount Moon in Pokemon Blue.
Pretty much.
Damn Zubats.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. I think the other main difference between the two versions, this one, it was something with the music, right? There was it compressed?
yeah, because the original Dreamcast release was across 2 discs.
Yeah.
This is they put the entire thing onto a single GameCube disc, but because of that, they had to compress all the music. So it doesn't.
yeah.
It doesn't really have as much oomph as it used to, and it kind of clicks. If you listen to some of the sound effects, they don't go off as much. They just kind of end. They don't naturally go off.
Yeah.
Did the Dreamcast version? Because from what I can hear with the lower volume, is it like a full orchestra or is it like synth?
It is
Yeah.
synth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it. I still love the soundtrack in general. I do think it's very underrated.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
yeah, there are a bunch of other differences. Like, the main character models got slightly improved in that their hands now actually have separate fingers. So basically, think
Just like SADX.
yeah, just like SADX.
But why isn't everyone super shiny like in SADX?
The only I think the only other main difference. I mean, they also added a few other discoveries, which we'll get into later. But there was also an entire subplot that was added to this game.
Oh.
Nice.
The character, I think you pronounce it Piastel. I can never fully pronounce most of the characters' names.
I don't blame you at all.
Yeah. In all honesty, there's a character in this game called Ramirez. I honestly never knew how to say that until this release, because a character who was added in this version actually has a single voice clip saying Ramirez. I honestly used to just call him Ramirez.
Ramirez. So is there voice acting in this game, or are all the cutscenes like just Zelda text?
There are voice clips. That's it.
Gotcha. Okay. Now I believe you were saying that the main character, not in this game, but in every subsequent sequel or like spin-off, was voiced by because we always have to tie it into the Blue Hedgehog. Was voiced by Sonic's current voice actor Roger Craig Smith.
Yep.
So is it that guy with the emo haircut and the sword is the main character?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I'd say, weirdly, a lot of people probably know him from a spin-off racing game as opposed to his actual game, but you take what you can get. Now, I don't know what it is.
Skies of Carcadia.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with Dreamcast games from around this time period, but they always had to have these weird alarm sound effects everywhere and this red glowing thing like in SA2. That was struck me last night while I was looking over this. We'll never be able to follow him through there. It's just over there. Okay, let's go get him. I don't know what he was thinking. It's like, I'll just close the door behind me. Oh well.
No, it's so we could get
locked
through
the
this door.
Oh no. He locked it.
So how much of a
So I think
of a
the music playing
franchise?
now is one of the ones they remixed for.
How much of a franchise is this series? Like how many like sequels / like other games are there aside from this?
Just this one.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. They made this, then most of the people involved worked on Valkyria Chronicles, so that really became their main franchise.
Oh, okay.
But I'll admit, with that ladder you just saw me effortlessly go by, in my first run of the Dreamcast demo, I couldn't grab the ladder.
Did it glitch out?
I think so. Everything I did, Vice would not grab it.
That was just the way of the demo telling you it's over. There's no more to the demo.
Honestly, at first, I thought that was what happened.
Oh no, he's gonna kill the innocent man.
Yes, my name is Alfonso. I'll be your sleazeball for this game.
It's just kind of making me laugh, and I think Chris, last time you were in my neck of the woods, I pointed this out about SA1, but it just blew my mind how Conker's Bad Fur Day has much better like animation. That's amazing. But I was saying, like, it's weird how like the N64 game Conker's Bad Fur Day has better, more fluid animation than a lot of like early Dreamcast games did.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy how much more powerful the Dreamcast is. And yet they're just like, fuck it, we'll just make 10 stock animations that everyone has. Yeah, that's good enough. It's good enough.
Is that I always kind of thought that, well, back in the day, Skies of Arcadia would have looked good on PC at that time. Because I thought a lot of PC games kind of look like this in terms of character models.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, now it's like, oh god.
That's why we need that HD remake, you know what I'm saying?
Hell yes.
I love that he goes to flip his hair back, but because his hair is a static model, it didn't move a fucking inch.
I just gotta point this out here. This thing busting through the wall. I love that Alfonso was like, what am I gonna name this thing? Antonio. That's what you name a giant war beast.
What would you name it then, smart guy?
I don't know, horny,
Stampy.
Stampy,
Horny.
severely limiting armor pig.
Armadillo.
Armadillomon!
Drillmon. He could be a little
There
more
you go.
animated.
Our first boss fight. Can't wait to see you cheese through this one.
Here's something. This is actually the second time I recorded all this footage, because the first time through, all the footage completely glitched out when I was trying to render it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try and kind of show off as much as I could in the boss battles, including like special moves and stuff like that. And I kind of accidentally killed the enemy in a single hit without meaning to. If I still have the footage, I might just put it in here just so you can have a see it, because I was like, oh god, that did not go to plan.
Oh no, I've killed again.
It's
I always
weird
feel
seeing
bad-
that dude.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Gareth.
I say I always feel bad for the developers when they have to come up with like a actual name for all of these stupid moves. So it's like the thunder of focus. Yeah, that's good. Do it. Fuck, I don't know. Fire of pain. Okay.
Something that I love about the soundtrack is that when you get the upper hand on the boss, the music actually becomes more triumphant. And but if your health is low, then it becomes a lot more what's the
Dire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love.
really,
I
really
love.
like
I
that.
love like
the
yeah.
only other RPG I can really think of that did anything like that is around Gen 5 for Pokemon.
Just remember in the
Gareth, you're kind of
in the
roboting out on our Skype.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep
Alright.
talking.
Go for
But
it.
I think Gen 5 for Pokemon, when your health got low, like the music would change. And I think when you were beating a boss, the music would change. I can't think of any other RPG that really does this kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's like, as much as I would love a HD remake, I honestly wouldn't mind a 3DS version just for the special moves. Because I think those look really cool in 3D.
It'd be cool to take the game on the go, too. That'd be a big
Yeah.
plus for me.
So were any of these characters in Sega All Stars Racing transformed?
Just Vice.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy in the blue.
So was he voiced by Roger Craig Smith then in that game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everything with this game. Which I think...
Okay, so what other games? Because if you say if this is the only game, what other like spin-offs then have featured these characters?
Vice, Ica, and Fina, who's the girl they're rescuing, all appear in Valkyria Chronicles as characters in there. It's like Vice and
Oh,
Ica,
cool.
Vice and Ica can be recruited to your squad. Fina is actually the medic, so whenever you rescue a character in that game, she's the one who's running to the rescue.
That's cool. So I mean, so that game, the Valkyria Chronicles series, it's not a sequel, but it's just set in the same universe.
No, it's completely separate. It's just they make cameo appearances.
Oh, gosh. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of similar developers, so they kind of called back to this game.
Okay.
And I will say this: if you have any interest in Valkyria Chronicles, play it either on PS3 or PS4. Do not watch the anime.
Isn't Valkyria Chronicles getting a PS4 remake?
Yeah, it actually just
Like,
came
soon?
out.
Oh, cool. Is it good?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.